welcome to In the Burbs. I am so excited. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Amy, Karen Reed, not guilty on all charges.
And the crowd cheered.
Everybody's cheering. I'm watching on my phone. They just announced the verdict. I mean, seconds ago, we were waiting to go live because I've been waiting on this for 2 years.
She really has. That poor woman.
I mean, I agree. I've said all along, not guilty, not guilty. Something happened to this poor man. I still feel for his family. Yes. He was a police officer. He died. They don't know how. Death. It was a terrible death. I think it happened in the home. I don't know what happened. It doesn't matter. Karen Reed was obviously framed. The jury agrees with me and you and a lot of other people. And thank God it's over. I can't even imagine. I was watching her, Amy. I cannot imagine that stress.
I know. And sometimes time reveals all truths. And it's been all this time. And
took 2 juries,
creeped out, and a different forensic persons. Like, there's no way a car could have struck her even going 1 mile an hour and have only bruises on your face.
Yes.
And why is his arm mauled by a dog? What does that have to do with it?
Right.
So I feel
there's no way she could have died.
I wish they could find the people that did this to him and killed him.
I mean, I feel for John O'Keefe's family because they don't have justice. They don't know. They still don't really know what happened unless the people that come forward really tell exactly what happened to him that night. But she didn't hit him. And that was proven to me in the courtroom. And she couldn't have killed him with her Lexus. The tail light would have, if she had hit him, he would have had broken bones. So many more injuries than just the head.
At least
bruises. There weren't any bruises. I'm so relieved. I'm very happy this is over.
It's a big fat $10 million book deal.
Oh
my
man.
Gosh, the stress of this. I hope she gets a book deal. I hope they do a movie about it.
I can't wait to see her interviews now.
I hope in all that, Gina, the attention that's going to be garnered for this, I hope they find out somebody comes forward and they say what really happened.
I agree. I'm watching her in the courtroom right now. She's hugging her attorneys and her father.
What if it's possible if they beat him up and they threw him outside and he died? What if the whole thing was accident? What if
it could have been? And that's why they were panicking with this cover up.
Yes.
And all these weird things that was happening in the middle of the night and the searches on the Google searches for how's long to die in the cold that she supposedly did. That was very odd. The shady investigation, Solo cups. They're putting blood samples and evidence in red Solo cups. The day they find him, and there's just and he's feet away from the curb, like 10 feet away. He didn't just he didn't land over there. He didn't get pushed by the car over there. Somebody placed him there. That's my opinion. But I am thrilled. This has been exciting.
The poor woman.
I mean, I'm watching her hug her father.
You get charged with that. And the truth is, the government can charge you with anything at any time, or the IRS can charge you with anything at any time. And guess what? Then you have to defend yourself.
Well, that's what
it's millions and millions of dollars.
I watched a lot of interviews, people outside the courtroom. She had hundreds and hundreds of supporters, and they were wearing all the pink.
They are, Gina. They're doing that.
They're doing the "I love you" sign language. That they were supporting her. They agreed, and not to take away from the fact that a man died tragically.
Right, they're not celebrating that a man died.
Exactly. It's just
they were accusing the wrong person.
Exactly. So I'm glad this is over. Kudos to that defense team. I can't imagine what this cost.
Oh, it'd be millions of dollars.
I mean, hopefully
I'm telling you,
she'll get some book deals, some interviews.
I hope
because she's going to have to do something to pay for all this.
And she, gets a book deal, and she gets to go on the Today Show and on everything else.
I want to hear her talk now that it's over, where she can really, really talk, and we can hear her side and really And
imagine your boyfriend gets killed, and then you get charged with it.
And there was a lot of criticism because she didn't show emotion in the courtroom. Her boyfriend died. Well, okay, this happened. What, 3 years ago, I believe, not 2022.
Your fear of being incarcerated
for something you didn't do
overweighs a little bit of your sadness.
Not that she wasn't sad. I'm sure, it's
scared.
just you're fighting for your life, for your freedom at this point, being wrongfully accused of something.
Yeah.
So that's where she was at. And that's why I think there was so-called lack of emotion, but she's a very strong person to have to sit there and be, to go through something like this. So.
Yeah. Okay,
Yay,
good.
free Karen Lee. I was watching
Justice.
Vinnie Politan. I'm a big
He
fan.
goes to Gina's
Yeah, he
gym.
works out at the gym at where I work out, and I can't wait for him to come back from Boston so I can harass him and say, "Hey, Vinny, can we talk?" He'll probably run when he
And he
sees
did
me.
funny. I don't watch Core TV like Gina does 24/7.
I don't watch it
However,
24/7.
Gina told me that when
Just
the
12 hours a
verdict
day.
is coming out, he puts on the red tie.
He
So he put on the
does.
red tie, and then they're like, and it's
No
not
verdict.
coming out. So he took it off. He just wrapped it around. him.
Right,
And
right.
then he's put it back on again.
Apparently, he carries it in his coat pocket. So when
I
there's
like
a
that.
verdict, and so when they said there was a verdict, first they said there was a verdict. They knocked on the door, the jurors, and then they changed their mind and said there wasn't a verdict.
Ay.
And so he had the tie on, then he took it off, and then they said there was a verdict. So
Anyone that's
God.
been following this, Gina and I have been following the hilarious TikToks and memes and everything going on. Like I sent Gina one this morning, and how complicated Massachusetts law made this, where the jury came back and they're like, we don't understand this.
They had questions, and this is what happened with the first jury in the first trial, and that's why there was a hung jury. And at least these jurors said, "We're gonna figure this out this time. We're not gonna." They knew there was a first trial. They knew. Obviously, that it ended in a hung jury.
Sure.
They knew that, and they probably didn't want to let the public down, the people down again. And they
Or
were
her.
doing their justice, their duty, as jurors to get a verdict one way or the other. So good for them that we didn't have another hung jury.
They're trying to charge her for driving under the influence,
Right?
But did they ever do a blood test? Did they ever?
They did. I think the confusion was. Was she driving at midnight, like 12:48, or was it 5:40 in the morning? There was conflicting times. They didn't take the blood test till early in the morning. I don't know what happened there. They just couldn't. I think there was different, I mean, I don't want conflicting times.
I don't want anyone driving drunk. It just it's just like in hindsight.
They couldn't prove that. There was definitely alcohol involved that evening. There was a lot of alcohol. And